Started now. Yep. Okay.
Okay. So Dynatrace, here we have two types of monitoring. First, we need to understand that we have two types of monitoring. One is infra monitoring, one is full stack monitoring. So we have installed the agents as a full stack monitoring. Okay. So full
Okay.
stack monitoring, if I'll open any host, you can see it will capture all the process along with CPU, memory, disk, network, all
Okay.
this process and services as well. If I open to a Smartscape view, you can see on this server, okay, this is the pet plan prod batch is running this many process is from past one and this many process services is running. Okay,
Okay.
so you can say so like this is connectivity. We can understand anything went down. You can see it from that Smartscape. Anything like either service went down, process went down, application has some issue, yeah, host has some issue, any issue. It will you can see in the Smartscape. If you are seeing like someone told you, oh, about there is an issue in your application, please have a look. So you will be like, where should I go? What should I check? Just you open the Smartscape topology, you will get complete idea first. Okay. Now, if I'll go to the host now again, so this is called as a full stack monitoring. So if I'll go to the setting, so you can see right monitoring mode. So we have two modes, full stack mode, and if I'll disable it, we'll call as a infra mode. So let me disable so you can understand. Now it will be ask me infra only monitoring is enabled for this. If you want to enable, just we can go to setting and monitoring mode and just enable it. Okay, that's it. Okay, now
Okay.
coming to that problems, you want to see what is the CPU. I want to keep some value, threshold value for CPU, memory, disk, etc. Network level, all those things. Okay, so there is a two-way. One, we can do it globally. Globally means suppose this host I want to have CPU 80% to get notified, but this host I want to have 70% only, it should be get notified, right?
Okay.
So okay, so if you have that variations, all those things, then we can do it manually, host by host. So if I'll go to the open host,
Are there general recommendations as to what those thresholds should be set to?
so Dynatrace, so in Dynatrace we do have a auto baseline. Okay, so based on that problems occurred, okay, and based on that issue, they will do auto baselining. So auto baselining will do at 85 between 90%. Okay, so suppose last time there is so many issue with CPU, memory, disk, and all those things, they will do auto baselining. Okay, so we are getting much error on application side, service side on 80% itself. Then they will do baselining on 80% itself. So they have according to the AI, they will do auto baselining. But but in order to that, if you want to keep some fixed threshold value to get that notified, so I will go to that proper host, anomaly detection, and now you can see we have enabled globally. Okay, but I for this host, I don't want to be to enable that anomaly detection for globally. I will disable this part and then I will configure. I will give the threshold value. So detect host, yeah, monitor connection lost. So alert anything like host was shut down, someone has restarted, something like that, right? So I need that alert. Second, detect CPU saturation. So they will do automatically baselining. No, I want to have a custom setting. You can keep this value. So 95% only, right, is the auto baselining. But if you want to have that alert on 90% cell, we can configure it as 90%. High memory usage on host. So based on the custom you can add. So on the 90% on Windows, 80% on Linux, and memory page fault, 100 page fault per second. So that is the requirement that you should get it from application. Detect GC garbage collection activity based on the custom threshold value. Java out of memory, thread problems. So we can detect it. We can configure it. Okay, from here itself. Okay, disk. So this is for disk. Now, if some of the disk has a C drive, D drive, E drive, right? And you want to configure, you want to have that specific drive, D drive. I want to monitor when it is get 90%. Yeah, C drive. I want to monitor if you get 90%. If anything went down, we can give it. So I want to do some customs. Custom, you can do it. We can do it globally. Okay, so this is just a basic, okay, that basic level anomaly detection. That so we can do it host by host, yeah, globally. Globally, we can do it from here. Setting anomaly detections. Then you can see here, right? If I'll go to the infrastructure, this is for only for infrastructure. So if I'll globally, this is for global. It will, if I'll give the threshold value here for 80%, 90, 80%, then it will be applicable for all the host. All the hosts, but which host I haven't enabled that globally, that host will be not considered. Suppose some of the hosts I have disabled the global setting, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think so. For that host, it will not consider the same matrix, but suppose this host I have disabled that globally, so this host will be not considered as a global monitoring. So this host I have disabled it, so it will not consider as a globally. So this is for this is for, like we can say, so 4 hosts is 3 hosts will consider as a globally and 1 host will not consider as a global. So we have disabled it globally. Once I'll enable this, then it will be, this will be invisible, and it will be taking that from globally. Understood? Make sense?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Now, so this is the metrics that general metrics for infra perspective. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I would like to add some disk drive, so you can add it from here. Okay, so low disk space, yeah, read time, escape time, write time. So lowest event, the rule name, threshold, contain. So like this, we need to add. We need to choose the tag. So the tag level, we can do it, and like this, we need to define that. So we can do the changes, because I need to configure a lot of things. I need to define the rule name. Oh, so I need to define the rule name. You can do the custom disk detection. Okay, like C drive, D drive, E drive you want to monitor, we can do it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now we are coming to same way infrastructure. Done same way we are coming to database. So this is also for database. We are not install. We have not installed the agent on the database server. The database coming through the application transition. Suppose some of the peoples are hitting the URL and it goes to database, then database automatically it will reflect in Dynatrace. But so for that we can see here, right, database response time, all those things. So anyway, this is also globally from setting page, anything we are doing anomaly detection, it will go it will work as a globally. If I'll open the database and particular database, if I'll disable that globally, then it will call as a, we have not enabled globally, this is the particular something like that. So now we have anomaly detection. If I'll disable the global setting, then it will work, we can add a something different threshold value. Okay, so
Okay.
this is for a database. Now same way will work for service. So this is for service metrics, detect response time, increase rate in failure rate, service load, detect service load drop, detect service load when there are too much loads. Okay, the expectation was like it should get 2000 requests per minute, say 5000 requests per minute. If it's going more than that, I should have that alert, because something went on, right? If
Right.
some if so that like that, I need to have alert and then enable that. I need to give that. Okay, so once it will reach 200%, yeah, 150%, something like that. For one duration of one, at least for 1 minute, yeah, 5 minutes, we can give that. Excuse me. So like this, we can configure. Then then we have a custom event for alerting. Custom events of alerting, something you want to configure out of the box. This is are the generic metrics, you can say, like applications of the database infrastructure, NAM, that giving so these are that generic metrics that generally that people see. Okay, now we are looking for a custom metric. So something like you want to monitor some JMX queue level, yeah, something like any custom metrics I want to monitor. So this
Mm-hmm.
is for application. So suppose application we have 120 metrics, so something like that. So if I'll go to that, this is for action count, action count by OS, action count by app version, then crash rate, application duration by OS reported. These are the metrics. Okay, request error, session count, user count, all those things. These are the metrics from application side. What you are looking for. Response end, response end with XHR action. If you have a XML HTTP request, then you can use this. So like this time to first byte, amtex rating, count errors, all those things we have this many metrics. If you want to configure something, suppose I want to configure when uh,
So right now, do we have any alerting at all turned on, enabled for PetPlan on any of the servers?
see, so Dynatrace will do auto baselining. Okay, so according to that, auto baselining is that globally it is enabled. Okay, just we have enabled that with, so it will, we have not given any threshold value. Just the Dynatrace will do auto baselining. Based on the baselining, it's already enabled. Okay, if I'll go to the problems, if I'll take last 7 days data, you can see there's a couple of alerts we do have, right?
Yep.
So on the service level, all those things. Okay, so we do have that auto baselining. Okay, and we have couple of so many alerts we do have. Okay, so in last 7 days, if I'll take last 30 days, then it is not configured 30 days, but anyway, so we have this many alerts. So we have error 20, availability error, slowdown, and resource. Okay, these are the types of alert severity level. So we have around this many alerts. Okay, so they will do auto baselining. So if you anyway, but also you need to define some custom threshold value, we can define it. And after that, if you would like to have some custom alerts, then we can configure from here. Anomaly detection, custom events for alerting, custom events. Just I'm taking on select metrics. You can take JDBC. Wait. So I'm taking service level. Okay. So service connection failure rate, successful connections. Connections, let's say total number of how many connections we have. So if I'll take total number of connection database, this is for database connection. Okay. So how many? So I need to select which service. So I need to Alfresco, repository service, plugin, pet UAT, pet prod, batch service. Which service I need to have? Okay. If I'll select billing service endpoint. Then we need to select, we need to, okay, so in that billing also we have this one, create a rule based filter. So this one we do have. Okay, then I need to give the static threshold value. Yeah, do auto adaptive baseline. So we have two way. If you are willing to give the auto threshold value, the static threshold value, that's fine. Otherwise we can do it auto adaptive baselining. So Dynatrace will do automatic baseline. So like this we can create, and we can, this is for custom alert, we can create it. I'll select, and it's not allowing me, no time series data available for preview. Okay, name. So just I'm giving the name. What is that? Total number of connection. Just I'm giving total number of connection. Okay. And we can, once I'll create, it will be alert will be. Now you are asking me how it will be, whom that who will be the recipient. Okay, so from recipient side, we need to create an alert profile first. Okay, so alert profile here on alert profile. So we have a pet plan prod and pet plan UAT. Okay, so if I'll open that pet plan prod, we have this many severity rule. When anything becomes unavailable, that alert will trigger after 15 minutes. Send a notification if problem remains open longer than 15 minutes. If you want to reduce, this I kept as generally to reduce the alerts. Okay, like if yeah, if you want, this is something like I would like to have after 5 minutes only. If you are longer than 5 minutes, there's still that uh, unavailability is there, then we can, because something like someone has restarted the server, right?
Hmm.
And it will be come up within a fraction of 5 minutes, yeah, 2 minutes maximum. It will take 2 to 3 minutes, right? In the Linux server,
Right.
yeah, some service are, so anything becomes unavailable, right? So service also becomes unavailable. Any process groups also they have restarted, yeah, something they have done it. So if you give that 5 minutes, yeah, something like that, then you will receive more alerts, because here not like we are not defining here like this service, only service, anything becomes unavailable. So it count as a service, it count as a process, is considered as a host, it considered as application, something. So I'm giving the something, send a notification, problem remains open longer than 15 minutes, yeah, we can keep as a 10 minutes. That depends on the requirement, how they're looking for the alerts. Same way availability alerts will work. Error alerts, there is any errors like 4x error, 5x error, something like that. So if they found any 4x error or something, so if you receive alert, send it longer open than 10 minutes. Okay,
Hmm.
then slow down, something becomes very slow, that response time degradation, yeah, some service becomes slow, yeah, application becomes slow. Then you should receive the alerts after 30 minutes. Just have added normally, we can, you can do some changes in that, you can do the change in that. Same way, resource alerts. The resource will come as a CPU, memory, disk, all those things, right? So this is called as a resource alert. So these are the resource alert. And if CPU still it is longer than 30 minutes, yeah, we can consider as a 15 minutes. Then we should have the alert. So that alert will trigger over on your email box. In problem, it will trigger immediately. In that here have a problem, right? It will trigger immediately, anything becomes unavailable. But in your mailbox, yeah, service now, where you are integrating, right? So you will receive after 15 minutes. Why? Because we have given a 15-minute time frame to see. 15 minutes, still this problem is there, then you send a notification.
Gotcha.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Same way we have a custom alerts. So custom alerts we have configured just now, right? So this comes under the custom alert. So this will, now once alert profile is created, then I need to go to the integration, problem notification, set up notification. So how you want to should have the alert? Either you should have, you are using any ticketing tools. Yeah, we can go with the email. If we'll go that, we can give that Dynatrace alert something like display name.
Hmm.
We can add DL group. Yeah, we can add individual email ID with commas. This is subject. We can add it more here. So you have this many. So if you want to add problem severity level also, that is the subject line. So subject line will state is open. Yeah, close. Problem ID, impact entity. Okay. If you want to add problem tag, yeah, some problem severity level. If you want to add it, you can add it like this.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. Now, once we'll give the URL, now we need to select the alert profile. So suppose we have two environment, right? We have some UAT also and prod also. The
Hmm.
UAT is not that much, we can say. We should not receive so many alerts on for UAT, but prod mandate it should have. Right? So there will be a threshold will be get changed, right? Always. So we have a two alert profile. So we can select as a pet plan prod. If it is you are considering, you are creating alert, you can consider as a. Now if I'll send a test notification, then let me add my email ID. So if I'll add send test notification, that yeah, integration successful, just will save it, that's it. So all the email, all the alert I will receive over on the email. Same way, if I would like to integrate with some other tools, I haven't saved it. I would like to integrate with other tools like ServiceNow, Slack, yeah, any custom integrations. So we need to integrate with that. There is some process. We need to have a CMDB. CMDB. We need to insert so many values. There's the integration, so we need to do that, okay, via ITSM. Yeah, ITM, there's a two-way. So some of the organization have ITSM. Suppose here in Sapiens we have only ITSM, we don't have ITOM license. So through ITSM we can integrate with that. If you have ITOM, then we can integrate with ITOM. We can select the alert profile again and we can integrate with that. Okay, understood?
Yep.
No, so this is like a alert, how it works. Okay, so we can create a custom event for alerting. So something like on the process level. Suppose if we'll go to the technology. So these are the process are getting monitored. Some of the process you want to have alert on this. So we'll go to the Tomcat. This is the process setting. You can see, right?
Mm-hmm.
Availability monitoring. So I have not enabled when this process went down. Because if you need, I want to monitor this process, I'll enable that. Enable process group of availability monitoring. Then if any process becomes unavailable, so under this group, any process become unavailable, I need alert. So something like that. Yeah, minimum threshold is not met. If you have any threshold value, we can add. Otherwise, we can disable it. Like something like you should not monitor all the process, right? So there's so many backend process also running. Okay, for that we should not monitor with that. We are considering from the application side. So which are the process we need to monitor? You should come up with a plan. Okay, these are the process we need to monitor. So that process monitoring, enabling, first we need to enable that. So we need to go to the technology page, and it's a JBoss. If we'll go to the JBoss, if I'll go to the JBoss, now I will go to the setting, availability, enable that availability, connectivity alerts, or TCP connectivity alert I have enabled it. So like this, we need to do that on the process level. So application level now. So I have created two applications. Okay, one is pet plan and pet plan UAT. So I'm not sure how many applications we need to configure, but just I have added two URL. You can see here. This is the http prod petplan.adaptive.com. There's only one URL I have added.
Right.
If we have if we have multiple applications, we can configure it as application.
So since that URL hits both the prod server and the prod HA server, will any application settings you do for that URL apply to both servers automatically?
So if so just if I'll hit this URL.
Right. So that'll hit the load balancer, and then that'll direct you to either one of two servers, depending on what each server's load currently is. So if I set up an alert for that URL, is that truly monitoring both servers? My guess is no.
So this will hit as a load balancer, right?
Correct.
But this is the application main URL. This is the main URL, right?
Correct.
Then it can be monitored if it is coming through load balancer also.
Okay, so it'll monitor both servers then?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can see these are the business transactions. Full details. And some of the transactions like top user actions. So it is hitting pro.petplan.adaptive.com. They're hitting the URLs. Okay. Now if I'll go to the applications, so we have two applications I have configured. If you have some URLs, just you can give it to them. I'll configure as applications. Okay, and we'll get that you can segregate that. Suppose this application is a policy pro. Okay, this is a one product, right?
Mm-hmm.
Producer pro is one product. Billing pro is one product. Okay, so if I configure, if authority pro is one, if I'll click here, I think so. This authority pro is open, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the one product. We can say this is the one application, right?
Yep.
So if you'll give me the list of URLs, I'll configure it. Configure it in Dynatrace. So it will be easy to fetch the information, because it will be, once you will have all the information in one place, it will be difficult to fetch the data, what you are looking for, right? But if you have the segregated the applications URLs and configured in proper way, then you can easy to fetch the data. Just you go to that, this is the course shoot billing pro, this is the manager pro, this is authority pro. Just you click and you can see that details, complete
Right.
details.
So if you go back to that URL, that tab to the right there.
Here?
Yep. So like if so, prod.petplan.adaptivecloud.com, that's the main URL. But like for example, if you click on the house icon for Policy Pro,
Yeah.
so
So
that
this
then
is the
well, so
that
that's the login page
yeah.
to get in.
So once you logged in, I think we can configure it. Once we'll give the URL.
Okay.
I think it will be captured automatically. Oh, it is coming.
So I can go ahead and just to play around and look at it, I can log in and send you what the URL is after login.
Yeah, sure. So if I'll go to the pet plan prod, you can see Authority Pro.
So after I log in, this is the URL that it takes me to.
The entry point, right? Adaptive entry point. Let me check in Dynatrace. This is the billing pro, right? This is the billing entry point. This is capturing all the data. You can see here, right?
Mm-hmm.
There is a, so this is the policies. I think this is the policy pro. A Pentao. This is something, right? The customer managers. So it is capturing all the information. I think we should not configure it. Let's go to that product. So you can see adaptive policy, adaptive login, authority login. This is the authority pro, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I go to that, so it is capturing all the information.
Okay.
If you see here, this is the authority pro, adaptive authority. This is the policy pro. This is capturing all the data. No need to
Okay.
configure. Okay. So now if I'll go to the pet plan, you can see here. So what is the response time? It is taking 30 minutes. So we have 1 second. Okay, that's fine. This we have XML HTTP request is taking 0.3 seconds. Amdex rating is 0. Now, if I'll see the Amdex rating, right? Based on the Amdex rating, you can understand the applications, how it's performed. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
you can see if it is an Amdex rating between 0 to 0.5, you can see the unacceptable. There will be so many issues on your infrastructure side, service side, application response time, degradation, a lot of things will happen. It will happen. If your rating 0.5 to 0.7, it will consider as a poor. 0.7 to 0.85, it is called as a fair. 0.85 to 9.4, good. 9.4 to 1, excellent. So we have a 9.6, right? So
Mm-hmm.
between 0.9 to, so we have, there is no issue in the application.
Okay.
Okay, something like that. So like this, we can, if I'll take last 6 hours, then this will be, no, still there is no issue. 7 days. So it is just taking like this, okay? Now I understand, I need to understand that pet plan application service flow. So this is the service flow and how it's performing. I like to understand each service. Okay, so this pet plan application that we have configured, what is the user action? We'll take a throughput. So we have total user action is 48K. I have taken last 2 hours. That average action duration 940 millisecond. Then they have a 2. This is, I think we can say this is the load balancer and things. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the load balancer, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's going to this load balancer. So to manage the traffic. Then from the load balancer, someone is hit it to adaptive flow, someone is hit it to this service. In this service, we have so many things. Alfresco, OM, policy writer, all those things. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This hit it to this service, JBoss domain, something, and then we have some adaptive policies. Then this service hits to this endpoint, policy service endpoint, and this 9 service in 9 some user authentication, alfresco, request public network, adaptive billing. Then is went to database. Here also went to database. Someone here went in database. Here also is went to database. So here there is no database. That connectivity. So like this, we can understand the application service flow. And so if I want to see, this has a 16 issue. So on this load balancer, right? So you can see the 16, right? There is the issue. So I will open that, expand more. So first we'll check on the infrastructure side. No, passing transactions. So if I'll open PurePath, web request, details of failure, analyze backtrace, why it is. Now, why it is coming. Now we are here. So we have, you can see failed request on this one. We have 225 requests getting failed. This is a 5x error. Okay. So on this adaptive policy customer manager, we have 4 requests getting failed. Here authority we have login. I think authority login. 3 requests getting failed. Adapting billing, adapting entry point, authority image went out. These are the requests getting failed. So you can, this is the request. The total request is getting failed 225. Now I want to do, now you'll see. So these are the request. So you can see 60 failed requests out of this one. This many requests are coming, and how is something like that. Okay, so this is the request is getting from Petpan web application. So I'll click here, loading of the page, 90, something like that we can get. Okay, now now you can see these are the request counts are getting. Now I need to understand that request. So this is that we can say PurePath. Every transaction is getting monitored. Okay, I would like to understand. Suppose this is getting failed too much, so I need to understand that why it is getting a fail, why it is getting failed. I need to understand that. So I will open that PurePath. In PurePath, every transaction is getting captured. If I hit 10 times some of the URLs, 10 transactions will be counted over here. Now, if you can see the time when it was hit, or what is the response time, what is the processing time, and if I'll go inside, then I'll understand some summary. What is the response time, what is the processing time, what is the execution, what is the CPU, how much CPU is getting consumed, and why it is getting failed. So then timing details, code level data. If there is any issue, we can understand that there's the issue with the code level. Same way, like this we can understand. There is no code, on here we have a code level data. So if I'll expand, you can see this is the, suppose it's getting a failed, we can see it will here. Like this we can understand. Make sense?
Gotcha.
So all the transaction services, you can see it from here. All the service. So let's filter for last 30 minutes. So we have 30 minutes, this many service. Okay. So you can see here a smart scale. So you can see only 34 service, right? So it's not like that. Okay. If I'll go to the smart scale, we have a 85 service. Okay. For last 30 minutes total. But you can see somewhere we have a dotted line, somewhere we have a complete line. You can see this is a complete line, right? This is also complete line. This means that from this service to this service, okay, we are in service base. So this service to this service, if there is a transaction, then it will be as a complete line. If there is a no transaction in last 24 hours, then it will become a dotted line. Or after 72 hours, it will become a independent from this service to so here to here. Now it is a dotted line, right? Still there is no transaction for next 48 hours, then it will become a independent. Again they will hit some transactions there, then it will become a solid line. So like that it works. Okay. So now
Gotcha.
we can see there is a issue in one service, right? So you can see which service we have. So we have this service, pet prod. Just to click here, open the prod service. Now we can see. unaccepted low load. We have enabled the low load. I have seen that. I have enabled that. I think so. No, globally I have enabled. I have enabled the load. Detect service load drops when there is expectation, right? So based on that, Dynatrace will do auto baselining, and based on the expectation, if anything load went down, that also will receive alert. So I will disable that. Okay, so like this we can enable that. So there was a unaccepted low load. There was expectation was Dynatrace will do auto baselining. They'll calculate 1 week data and they will do some load, okay, and
Hmm.
they'll throw an alert like this. It will work. So like this, so anything went down, just your first target will is you go to the smart escape. So see service level. If any host down, that will become a host. If the process went down something, it will become as a red. If it is a host, so host. And data center, then data center. So you
Gotcha.
can see. Okay, so if I'll go to the application, you can understand that there's a flow. So
Hmm.
this application UAT application running on this host. If it is a pet plan application, so it's running on this two host. If it is, this is the my web default application. So this is like this it is work. Even way we can go to the top to bottom, bottom to top. Both approach we have. So this is called top to bottom, bottom to top, top down and bottom up, both approach we have. So this host we have running this many process, this many service is connected with this application. So for running to this application, this load balances, this service is required. Like this it will can say this service, this many service we have. So like this we can say. Now if I'll go to the application again, so this is the application level data. Now so the business transaction you can say, and this is the errors. If there is any errors, request errors, we can configure. And JavaScript error, we can configure. Custom error, we need to configure it. So once I'll get the requirement, I'll configure it, custom errors. Then now you can see that 96%, 98% that desktop users, 100% is the real users, 100%. We can analyze the geography from which location people are accessing. So this many location people are accessing the website. What is the user action point? With the throughput details, we can expand it. We can understand it. So you can see. Then same, what is the load action, abdex rating already, errors. So these are the errors. Error rate, error by type. So we have JavaScript error, custom error. We have not configured it yet. Then error during user action, error by origin. This is the errors. We have two service, so they are the both are load balancers. Then we have a third party. Anything that coming with third party, first party, so all are anything first party only. So this is configured first party CDN. This is the CDN, third party resource. This is all resource. Now coming to user action type. So how many users are active? How many users are new users? So 51% are new users. 50% returning users, the existing users already are open that application a long time. So existing users you can say. So new users are 50%, returning users are 49%. What are the types of users? All are real users. We don't have any synthetic actions over here. So geolocations from this you can see. So which location? So you can see if you analyze it, uh, oh, it is coming. 58 active still we have active from US. 38 action 0.95 per session, bounce rate is 4.76, 58 active users, active session, active users, something like that. We will give the details, complete details. So we can filter best by active users, best by bounce rate, best by action per session, best by session duration. Like this we can filter it. Now we have 61 session. So we can see all the sessions are getting active sessions. now getting increased, decreased. So whenever something like you can say these are the when it works, when it is sales was started. Some for there was some sales, right? If you can consider in Amazon there is some sale or something, right? When it was started, then we can say how many people are active. So we can through that we can consider it like there's this many loads and all this many people are using the applications. All the things you can understand. Same way, these are the top entry point, these are the top exit points. Same way, we have entry actions, text by rating, exit action, and overall conversion. So that we need to set up a conversion goals. So something like if something like that policy, we have some policy and people's buy that policy. Okay, once it is that we can say the transaction ID was generated, we can say that our goal is 100% is done. Something like that. We need to configure it. That are conversion goals. Now, if I want to analyze the user session, now you can see for pet plan, this many users for last 30 minutes. I have not configured the user ID. If people have a user ID, then we can configure it. Like you open that application, the required user ID and password, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for that, I need to add some tag in the applications that I need to check with application team. If someone can help me that, I can add the user ID. Like you have logged into that portal, right? With some help of use credentials, right? If I'll add the metadata tag name from that source code, then we can easily, you can say that Ryan has logged into this portal. So this is your user ID and we can see what issue has happened. So like where we can add from application page, we need to add it. I'll go to the pet plan. You can say user tag, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here we have a tag identifier. So like suppose CSS selector name, like dot something, dot name, something. I'm not sure what how we need to keep, but we need to check with the application team. Something like that. Then JavaScript variable, we need to add a meta tag, we need to add some cookies value or some server side request certificates we need to add. Once we'll have added here, and then it will show as a user ID. Otherwise, it will show as a anonymous with some unique code from which location you are accessing the website. So if I'll open this, you can understand that user sessions. If I'll click here, you can see there is some satisfied user. Now the terms, what is the satisfied, what is the tolerating, what is the frustrated. If people are able to access the website within the 3 seconds, 0 to 3, it is called as a satisfied user. If 3 to 12, it is called as a tolerating, and greater than 12, it is called as a frustrated user. So it is, you can see 12.1, it is called frustrating. So like this, we will consider as a here user action details. So how that people are accessing. Now, if I'll go inside that, if there is a issue, people I can understand that what is the server time contributing, what is the network time, all those things you can capture. To understand, you can go with the waterfall model. So we have a two pure paths is taking 170. Now you can see. So this, and if there is any issue with some application, yeah, something that's like every page is how much is taking. Okay, so load time 37 milliseconds, started 9 milliseconds, completed 46. Okay, phase blocking is taking to cause the application cache is taking less than 1, DNS lookup, TCP connect, secure connect, request response callers, overall it is taking, transfer size is 15. So like this we can understand, then visually complete finding, and first coming from first party, which location, all those things will capture. Now let's go to the user session. Now you can see this is the web application. So this is the users login from this location. Clifton Height in the US
Mm-hmm.
browser is just a browser. Now is using Windows operating system. This have a resolution. then doesn't have any tag right now. So if I'll open this, it'll give you the details. Here we have two things. Okay, so if you are more concentrating on user side also, then we have one session replay. For that we should have that separate license for this. Like we are more concentrating on end user side than like Amazon and all that, concentrating more end user side, right? So there you can enable the session replay. And session replay means any whatever the transaction that we have done it will capture as a video.
Okay.
If okay, and anyone has facing a difficulties like some payment gateway is not working, yeah, some buying the policy is not working, yeah, something update the policy is not working, it will show as a cross symbol. They will prepare on video for you. You can see that video symbol, right? So it will give you the video. You just open that. If there is any issue, it will become a red first. You will go to that user, open that session replay. You can understand. Okay, here it is getting failed. Like this, you can understand. But we don't have a license anymore.
Right. So if we want to look at that session information, so for example, if let's say they click on an action that generates policy XML and sends it to a web service, would
Hmm.
would the generated XML be visible at all anywhere in this session information?
No,
Okay.
no. Just that will just it will show you the video, so you can understand and you can directly get to that. So it will save a lot of times and efforts. Like if you have something went on, then you need to analyze, you need to understand, you need to find the root cause, then you need to go there. If you watch the video, you can understand. Okay, there is a problem. There is a problem. There is a problem. That was
Okay.
not loading properly. That we
Okay.
can. That's it. We can do that. No, so let's now we have a synthetic. So synthetic we have a two types. We have not configured yet synthetic, but we have a two types of monitoring. Here one is browser based monitoring and one is HTTP monitoring. Okay. So in the HTTP monitoring, just it will give you that URL status, whether URL is so policy pro, authority pro, management pro, whatever the pro we do have, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all the pro, whether it is application is up or down. So suppose billing pro mostly that people are using from North America, yeah, Europe, some of the country, Europe, some of the city, right? So we can enable that locations, and from that, this URL went down, we can get an alert, okay, something, okay, and response time, all those things we can understand. Apart from that, we and so this is called as HTTP monitoring. One is browser-based monitoring. Browser-based monitoring is like we can say that end-to-end monitoring. End-to-end monitoring means suppose you are if you are buying, so you are taking an insurance, some of the insurance portal, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
what is the first step? You need to log into the portal, you need to create an account, then you need to select the policy, buy the policy, add to your card, do some payment activity, give some address information, email ID, all those things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And giving your some card information and doing that, and then your policy ID will be generated, right?
Right.
So the same that application. So while once from application team also for testing purpose, they have some test user ID, right? To
Mm-hmm.
check whether policy is getting generated or not, yeah, policy is getting created or not. So through help with that ID, test ID, we can configure as a browser-based monitoring. Okay, and certain period of time, every 15 minutes, every half an hour, that script will run. They will go hit the URL. They will create some default policy with the help of test user ID. They will create some policy, and they will give anything went down, it will consider as a cross symbol, and it will take the screenshot also, okay, in browser. Why? Because whether URL is accessible or not, so for that confirmation they'll give you the screenshot as an event. Okay, so you'll give you the event once they fill the user ID and password, so this parameter is working fine, and they went to the different process, different page, like adding to cart. So before that we'll take a screenshot and they'll get it. So this item is working, second item is working, third item is working, third
Okay.
event is working, something like that. So you can understand that there is people are facing a difficulty on policy. So we can say that before user is getting impacted, you will come to know that.
Okay.
So like this we can configure as a browser based monitoring. That is called as a synthetic response. There are two types. We can run from your managed location also, because Dynatrace has given some default location that you can run it from there only. But in order to that, if you don't agree with that, I don't want to run from this location, I want to run from that some of the location custom locations. Yeah, I want to run from the India, I want from the US, from one of the custom location, but Dynatrace doesn't give that. We can configure as a custom location also. For that, we need to have one separate VM. All those things we need to configure that.
Okay.
Then diagnostic tools. So here, whenever you want to take a memory dump, yeah, process crash details, yeah, some exception analysis, you want to do some CPU analysis, you want to understand a top web request, you can do it from here. For that also, to take a memory dump, we should right now to take first. So first we'll take that. So you can take a memory dump from here, something like that again. So select that process. So suppose I want to understand the memory, because yesterday I have seen that in TDC issue there are so many issues with memory profiling for Tomcat. Okay, so we can take that memory dump and we can understand. So suppose in JBoss domain, we can take anyone. Okay, so then I want to trigger a dump. We can dump it from here. We can take a
Okay.
dump. We can do some memory profiling. All those things we can understand that. It will take 2 to 3 minutes. Memory dump in progress. It will take. You can see the new dump event. It will take time.
Yep.
Okay, so same way we can take a process crash details. Some of the process is getting crashed, then you can understand there is no process crash yet in last 30 minutes. Then exception analysis, something get definitely there will be data. Yeah, so these are the has a exceptions. So if I'll open this, so we have request counted this one, exception counted this one. We want to understand that exception details. Yeah, PurePath. So like this. Okay, so fail to convert type this required to Java string, something like that. Okay, so there's a fail to convert some value. Okay, so like this we have a exception. So how many impacted? 2.75k is getting impacted for this one. Bin wrap. So these are the getting expected. So like this we can understand that. So affected request is 8. You can see here. So 1.82k, 347. These are the affected request. So like this we can take a exception analysis. We can do that. Same way you want to understand that which are the top database statement. We do have. This is taken for last 30 minutes. These are the top database statement. So delete from some this service name. This one Oracle database count is 430 requests is coming per minute. Request count is 13.4k. So we can filter by. So something like that. Ascending order and descending order we can do that. And we can get that. So we can understand, and you can create a matrix for this. You can create a matrix also. You can create a matrix. And if you want to analyze, then we have an analyze option. A statement details you want to know, your path you want to know, some details of failure, outliers. So this is the top statement. Then this is the pure path. You can see this is getting a fail. Then you can understand running from where, which service, which request, which service getting called. All those information you will get it. Executions, return, fetch person, total name. These are the details you can get it. Okay. So like this we can. So now we can say response time distribution of pet prod. So this is zero fail, no issue. If there is a zero fail, then we can see here. Same thing. Here also, if you click, you click the education time, total education response time, slowest 10%, average response time, all the information you get it. If you want to understand, analyze colors and collie, we can do it from here. Request to pet prod, analysis to pet prod. I think This is the failure rate. No failure rate. Throughputs. Throughput means request per minute. How much load we do have. So 425 requests per minute is happening in last 30 minutes. Like this we can analyze. Make sense?
Makes sense. Yes. It's still it's a lot.
Yeah, there is too much.
Yeah, that's why I want to do it. Break it out into multiple sessions. I can, so I'll take a look back at at the session that we recorded here and kind of go through things and kind of play around on my own. Then Thursday when we reconvene, if I have any questions, I can bring those up. Otherwise, we can move on to the next topics. But yeah, I wanted to, it's there's a lot here.
Yeah. And do you get the Dynatrace? Are you able to log into Dynatrace portal?
Yes, I am. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
I want to make sure I had access to that before I had wanted to set up time with you. So that's all taken care of. I just didn't want to go in without a whole lot of guidance or knowledge first.
Yeah. Correct. Okay then.
All right, so yeah, I think this will be good for today. Let me go ahead and I'll stop the recording, and then yeah, I'm gonna go in and play